it's Kristen and happy Topic Tuesday. This actually is sort of a topic and a tag Tuesday. So I was talking with a friend of mine, Kristen from MsKrystal321, and she and I were kind of talking about one shadow looks, and I had said that I've been working on a video for that, and she said, you know, it might be a fun tag to do. So I'm going to turn this into a tag, so to speak. There aren't any questions or anything. I'm just going to tag a few people below to kind of go ahead and show us their favorite eyeshadows to use for a one shadow look. Whew, good gravy. So if I didn't tag you, please don't be offended, but please go ahead and do this and let me know that you've done it, because I would love to come see your one shadow looks. I do these from time to time, this sort of look, when I am in a big hurry, or if I want to spend a little more time on my face that day, or if I just don't feel my best, kind of like today. So first what I'm going to do is cut to a quick demo of how I use the brushes that I'm going to talk about when we come back. So let's cut to that and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I have my eyes primed already with just a little Bare Minerals Primetime Primer and then a little MAC Painterly Paint Pot over the top of that. And I'm just going to take my MAC 239 or whatever flat shader brush you like. Tap that off. And the shade that I'm using is the Camp Cosmetics Taupeinator. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see. I normally don't film at this time of day, so we'll see. And I just pack it all over the lid. And no matter what shade I'm using, this is my method. So I pack it all over the lid. Do the other eye. And you probably could just go like that. But the other brush that I use is a MAC 224, any sort of fluffy crease brush. And I'll talk about those more in a minute. And I'm just going into the same shade, flick that off, and into your crease. Using the two brushes is the key, I think, because it makes it look like more than one shade. Same on the other eye. And you could walk out the door just like that, in my opinion. Then I go back with the same flat, whatever liner brush I used, or whatever, whatever lay down brush I used, and I'll run the same thing underneath my lower lash line. And you certainly don't have to do this. That's just something that I do. You could just leave that empty. You definitely don't need to. And then because it's applied with a different method, I think is the word I'm looking for, it almost makes that look like a third shade. Okay, so very first, I'm just going to touch a little bit again on the two brushes that I showed you. The first one being, the one that I have chosen is the MAC 239, and this is just my flat shader brush of choice. You could use the Sonia Kashuk 106. You could use like the Wayne Goss, I can't remember what the number is. You know, whatever your favorite flat shader brush is, but I think the key to a one shadow look is having two brushes, a flat shader and a fluffy crease. Just my opinion. Because when you do that, you're going to get your shadow to look like it's two different shadows. So there's kind of two, maybe sort of categories with shadows that work well for one shadow. Either it's a one shadow look, either it is something that just blends out very nice and easily and just can blend away into nothingness where you don't need a transition shade, or it's something that gives sort of two completely different dimensions. So kind of keep that in mind when we're talking about different shades. So the first one is the one, I'll give you a swatch that I showed you in there, that's the one from Camp Cosmetics, the Taupeinator. And this is just, well, you saw on my eyes, just a beautiful taupe. And this is one that I would say very easily blends up into nothingness. So you probably could get away if you wanted just with this and a little soft blend. But you also, when you add that fluffy crease brush into the crease, it just kind of gives it a little bit of a different shift. So that one, I do have both high-end and drugstore, just so you know. Another one, and I haven't talked about this in a long time, and I'm not sure if you can see, I've got a pretty decent dip in this. This is Bobbi Brown's Stone. I love this shade. This is, a lot of these, that's the other thing I will say, a lot of these are kind of in the same color family because I think they lend themselves well. So that's Stone right there. Another great one too, I would definitely do this on your lid with the flat and then in the I'll stop saying that, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if I've ever talked about this one, but I use this one a lot when I'm using it, when I'm doing one shadow look. And this is by MAC, and it's the Pro Longwear in Lie Low. I got a little crazy with my swatch there. Right to there. My apologies for me sounding even more nasally than I normally do. And this one, this I think is the epitome of a one shadow look. This is MAC Woodwinked. And anybody that's used this is probably going, yep, right now as I'm talking about this. This is the perfect shade to lay down with one brush, use a fluffy brush in the crease, and it looks completely different. This will make this, and then when you bring it beneath your lower lash line, it will absolutely look like you have 4 different shades on your lid. That's a very unique shade. On the higher end of things is Burberry's Midnight Brown. This shade is just delightful. And another trick with one shadow looks is to use, you can definitely wet your brush and get a completely different look, but I think the key for most people with a one shadow look is you want quick and you don't want to deal with having to wet a brush. So that is Midnight Brown. And I don't even know how many I have. I probably have an odd number, which is not, that doesn't usually happen with me. Here's a drugstore one. This was a gift to me from ElleIsForLiving, and this is the Expert Wear, Maybelline Expert Wear in Constant Toast. I really like this shade. I was wearing this, I think, in my empties video, if I remember correctly. It looks like that. And this is an awesome one shadow look. Just perfection. I'm going to try to build this up a little bit so that you can see. Really, really pretty. Vanessa from TheBombshellSuite would probably really love that. Vanessa, get on that. The next one, and I had kind of talked this one to death a while back. Well, this one and pretty much the line in general. This is the e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow, and this is in Toasted, so it looks like that. And this is definitely one that you could, if you took just the extra second to wet your brush, put that all over your lid and then use the same shade with a crease brush, and it would give you completely different, you know, looks like a completely different shade. Oh, that's just a stunner. And then another one from that same line that I love is Burnt Plum. Also a stunner. And there's Burnt Plum. I really do love those shades. And then the last 3 that I have are loose pigments. So loose pigments, I think really, while messy in general, lend themselves very, very well to one shadow looks. So actually this is one that I meant to mention these in my yearly favorites from 2014 and I had totally forgotten. So this is the, I'm trying to get some out here without making a mess, the Ulta Pure Color Eyeshadow Pigment. This is the one in Sepia, which here, let me swatch this, what I took out. So there's what it looks like in pan. And then there is a swatch of that. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And does an amazing one. If I could have demoed all of these for you, I would have. I picked a Bare Minerals shade as well. I would have picked Snazzy because if you've been around a little bit, you've heard me talk about Snazzy. But you can't find that very easily without going on eBay or something like that. So I picked another one of my favorites. I'm trying to get it here on my hand. And this is the one in Queen Tiffany. So it looks like that in pan. And looks like that right there. This is also a nice one to, if you just take a little black liner, smudge it on your lid, and then put this over the top of it, that's also a gorgeous, just stunning look. Good gravy game. And then lastly, and this is another one lots and lots of people have talked about, and this is the MAC Pigment and Tan. I'm going to try to get some off of the cap. This is just, ugh, so pretty. So tan looks like that. And then it looks like that as well. And that lends itself really well to wetting your brush if you have the extra minute to do that, and then using crease brush. So all of these shades are just, I realize they're all kind of in the same sort of, well, some are kind of taupey, some are kind of bronzy, some are kind of champagne-y, but generally they're ish in the same family of colors. But those are the shades that I feel really work well for this sort of look. So I hope that this was helpful for you, and that those that were requesting it found some good ideas in this as far as some things you maybe have in your stash that you could try out as a one eyeshadow look, or some things that you could look for if you're looking to add to your collection. So having said that, all of the things that are on my face, I will tell you very quickly, they are also always listed below if I know where they're from, meaning I don't always know where my earrings are from. The It by Redness is what I have currently on my face, and then over the top of that I have the Camp Cosmetics Take 2 in R1, which looks like that. For blush today, I have the Merle Norman Spring Blush. It's the Ombre Cheek color, and it's called In Bloom. Looks like that. And on my lips today, I have the Estee Lauder Pure Color Shine in Inspiring. I think that's right, Inspiring? Yes, Inspiring. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, I will tag a few people below to kind of show us their their favorite eyeshadows to use for a one shadow look. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye!